All right, hello, and welcome to the Pro Bowl for the second season of the NAGA League. I am Cole, alongside finally with Mr. Reed Option. Mr. Reed, hello.
Hello, glad to be here. I'm excited for this star-studded matchup. Now that the regular season's over, should be an interesting one.
That should be very true. I hope we actually get to see some points. I mean, when you get stars on the defense and, obviously the defensive player of the year candidate, Matt McDonough, you see that happen every week and you kind of hope maybe we can get some points up, Hopefully it won't be a 9-3 slugger with the defense just every sack, interceptions and stuff.
Yeah, we don't want a Patriots-Rams Super Bowl on our hands. We want something nice and high scoring. That Rams Chiefs, Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes, that kind of matchup.
Yes,
That'd
yes.
be nice.
If the punter gets the game MVP, I'm going to be depressed as an American.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love Zach McQueen and Paul Kaloje, we don't want to see them.
We
do
have
not
some
wanna see
better
them.
talent on the field, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So we have some stars on the offensive side. For our QB comparison is David Kreutzer and Ryan Davis. On the running back side, we have the starters Rashawn Davidson and Devon Bronson, and the wide receivers of Malcolm Braxton and Jaquante Bradford. Do any of these individuals I would say, poke out to you, sort of shine a light on anything for this game?
I mean, the David Kreutzer, Malcolm Braxton connection and the Ryan Davis, Jaquante Bradford connection are very hard not to point out. The fact that, these quarterback wide receiver duos get to play once again in the Pro Bowl together. I mean, that should spell high yardage, big passes. We'll see.
Absolutely, and let's hope for that. Let's go ahead and over to the expert picks. We are looking at 4 of these, and oh my, Pacific 90% chance of winning. And Mr. Reed, as you said in our debriefing situation, that is possibly the Austin effect.
Yes, Austin always favored to win the game, but it looks like expert James knows something that we don't. So maybe that'll be the outcome as opposed to the first 3, where they're all pretty much on the same page there.
And the only close game it looks like is the Danny prediction of 31-27. I mean, I hope James knows something. On the other hand, he could also be having a major bet on the Atlantic team to win.
Yeah, he bet the over. So. We'll see.
He bet that over, and he bet on all the players, on all their yards and gains. I'll go ahead, and I'll do my prediction first. I think it will be, we're going to go with, I'm going to say 31, I'm going to say 34. I'm going to say the Pacific wins it 34-31.
I'm going to go with a weird score of 28-27. Still Pacific, but I think that we're going to see a field goal or 2 from Nate the Great Gilroy. That stud of a Raleigh kicker getting most of I think he had 50% of their points on the season in the regular season. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see a field goal or 2 from him there alongside 3 touchdowns as my score predicts. So 28-27 Pacific
I like
is
it.
my...
I like it. And that's a great prediction. And yeah, you're right. That I think it is over 50% of their points in the regular season was their kicker. When you can't get into the end zone.
I mean, it's also a good testament to, how good his leg is. I mean, 98 points on the season.
My goodness.
92% kicking percentage. I mean, he had a couple games where I believe it was week 2, he had 7 field goals.
My goodness.
And that won them the game. I mean, you can't do it without him. That's the thing with kickers is that, a lot of the times they're unimportant, but that's one of those games where, I'm sure that Raleigh was giving him all 7 of those game balls for winning that game.
I believe it. And you know what? Just in the spirit of how the NAGA season has gone, I'm going to say in your prediction that, in fact, someone's going to miss an extra point. And I think they'll win 28-27 off the mixed extra point.
That pressure getting to him.
Oh, especially in the Pro Bowl. I mean, contract extensions possibly after this. I mean, this is where the eyes of ownership really looks. Like, how do you look when you face off against actual, actual legit talent on all levels, you know?
Yeah, it's like a college all-star game, and for some of these guys, it might even be a send-off. You know, we got some not elderly, but some aged people here alongside a couple rookies even.
That is true. Got some
lot
people
to be
collecting. Yes, a lot to be seen. But I will say, I think there are some collecting some Social Security checks. I'm just going to put that in there. I think someone's pulling a Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
Well, all right, let's go ahead and head on down to the train depot. It looks like it's going to be a clear day, and I believe it will be a night game. So let's go ahead and head on in. All right, welcome to the train depot. The final time that we will see the train depot in the NAGA Season 2.
Ooh. Like we have a official sponsor from Colorado State. First time I've ever seen that.
Wow.
Taking up our stadium banners.
I'd like to mention this is we're just going to say they bought the stadium. We're going to say that.
Yeah.
Thanks to CSU.
They're sponsoring the Pro Bowl today.
Unfortunately, they couldn't stop Colorado, so they'll go ahead and host their own game.
Yeah.
As Braxton brings it up to the 19, 1st and 10, and a rowdy crowd already. I mean, they have not stopped. Kreutzer in the backfield. Back to pass. I mean, late blitz from the linebackers. Oh! Dropped interception. That was close. And I believe that might have been... I'd want to say that was 59, which should be Matt McDonough.
That was Matt McDonough, yes, indeed.
Almost making a play immediately. Kreutzer back to pass. 4-man rush. He's got all day. Tosses it off to Presley. Ooh, nice tackle by number 25. Taken down after a gain of 8. Out comes Presley. In comes Tremaine Carter. 3rd and 2. David Kreutzer motioning the man. And he's going to hand it off to Davidson, and he's going to get an easy first down, taken down by the legs. And Presley coming back in for Carter. So far, what have you seen here, Mr. Reed?
I mean, the Pacific defense is they're applying a lot of pressure. Kreutzer's forced to make some quick throws, and it looks like they're even resorting to holding the defense to protect them. I mean, you don't want to see a lot of defensive pressure, but it's to be expected with such a star-studded Pacific team.
That's right. As Kreutzer motions the back to pass, 4-man rush. Oh my goodness, he's wide open. Davidson down the sideline, first down. He's not even taken down. He just brushes him off, and in comes Kenny Matlock. I mean, Kenny Matlock, what a star. I will say, though, it is unfortunate that he had to end his season on a missed pass in the end zone to go to the championship game against the Virginia Beach Mariners. As Kreutzer... Oh! Kreutzer...
It's like it's a little unavoidable, but he did his best, trying to be an American gladiator, jumping over all of those guys. But Christian Grant, stud from Omaha, reached him in the end.
Goodness. And as you start to hype up that play, I mean, my goodness, nobody could take down the running back, Davidson. Have you ever seen a play where a running back hurdles a linebacker just so freely?
No. I think, maybe he's got some extra rest from all these different weeks that he's been sitting out since their loss in the playoffs. But, I love to see that kind of athleticism in a Pro Bowl game.
That is, I must say that was just incredible. I have never seen that. I mean, I think he was at a standstill too. That was the most impressive part. Davis in for the Pacific team. He's going to launch it. Oh, wow. This Atlantic defense also showing up to stop this offense.
I believe it might have been Adrian Gordon. If that was 56, if it was 58, Kenny Andrews. Regardless, a lot of speedy linebackers on this defense.
Yes, he did. Oh. And apologies for breaking in, but I thought that was going to be a deep bomb for a possible touchdown. But seems we have the brick hands at the moment.
Yeah, Ryan Davis is known to sling them sometimes a little too far. It's like they're resorting to the run game here now on 3rd down.
just trying to possibly get some extra yards for that punt. Now, we do want to make note that these players are basically free of injury, so you may see some players who are in here who were out for the season, some players who were injured during the postseason, but Pasta has done an incredible job of putting them in the cryo chamber and preparing them just for this moment perfectly.
Yeah, gave him a little bit of ayahuasca, you know, got to relieve the pain in some way.
Exactly. As Davidson catches it out of bounds at the, my goodness, 44. I almost said at the 4. Great O-line play, stopping the blitz from McDonough. I mean, that could have been a bad play, but they stopped up the line. Davidson, oh my goodness.
Breaking free through the line there, looked like that was number 6, which is Gabriel White from Salt Lake City.
My goodness, what a play for that man. Matlock takes it. Oh, just not enough there. Unfortunate. Wow, major subbing going on. Cameron coming in, then coming back out, all for a punt.
A little bit of musical chairs going on just before. Maybe some running backs just want to run out there for the punt. Some wide receivers too.
Got to get their names out there. This is a possible contract game for some, trying to prove their worthiness on the special teams. Bronson, oh my goodness, a bowling ball just barreling down the field, 1st and 10 of the 31. And yeah, this offensive line, I mean, they make running lanes. Davis out to pass to Bronson, and as soon as you hype them up, Reed, they let a man in the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, Austin and Tucson supply, 4/5 of this offensive line today, and I think maybe, although they do a great job at protecting the quarterback most of the time, the fact that we didn't see either of those two teams very far in the playoffs, or even in the playoffs, might speak for some of their blunders today.
That is true. Lots of rust possibly going on here. Davis motions the fullback out to left. It's going to be a handoff to Bronson. Ooh, unfortunate. Unable to get the first down. 4th and 2 as Vincent comes back in. Well,
all
so
these
far...
stoppages, I was going to say all these stoppages are from the linebacker core, it seems. Adrian Gordon, Tyrone Shirley, Kenny Andrews, and Tyrell Augustine all standing next to each other on the same side of the field for once.
And what a force they are.
For sure, and it's going to be interesting to see if anything can be done offensively, no matter how much me and you want it, for either of these two teams, based off of the presence that the defense has.
They do say defense wins games and championships, so it may unfortunately be a 9-3 game here. Sprucer hands off to Matlock. Matlock just bulldozing a man over. Taken down. 3rd and 2. Cameron Brown coming in for Kenny Matlock.
And that was Patrick Young from Iowa on the unfortunate receiving end of that stiff arm.
Everyone gets their moment on social media, and unfortunately, he may be the one of a highlight reel as Brown gets the first down.
I'd love to see the highlight reel for Matt McDonough this game. Although his no sacks so far, he's been making a lot of important stops on that right side there.
It does seem... Oh, he's lining up in that blitzing formation. Oh, my goodness, and there he is. Speak of the devil. 2nd and 11.
The right guard and right tackle. I believe that was Jonathan Eagle and Brett Fairbanks that he weaved his way in between. Not an easy thing to do.
Not at all. What an unstoppable force. Now he's spying. The ball is going deep. Oh my goodness, what a catch by Presley. Down at the 20, 1st and 10. Marshall Presley. I mean,
what a catch.
My goodness. He low ball just to his hip, body contorted. This is what the Pro Bowl is all about. Amazing plays. Matlock up the middle. He's got all day. My goodness, 1st down. Loads of subs coming in now. We're running back Cameron Brown and Marshall Presley back in. I mean, this is what we expected, Reed. I mean, oh my goodness, here comes, oh, my goodness.
2 broken tackles, finally stopped by Christian Grant.
Wow.
You know, I was hyping up the defenses earlier, but looks like the Atlantic offense has found the secret formula to beating the Pacific defense.
Very, very true. And although Matlock only has around, not Matlock, I apologize, Brown only has 7 yards. Those were some hard-fought 7 yards. They're in the end zone. Play for a touchdown. Nice. Davidson. Incredible catch over the middle. The Atlantic's up 6-0.
Not unexpected from Rashawn Davidson, you know, being the #1 running back for Louisville and their #1 receiver as well, showing how much of a dual threat he is.
That is quite literally carrying a team on your back right there. Leading and rushing and receiving, you can't ask for more from a man.
No, you can't ask for more, and he gets to play today next to his fullback, Chris Murray. You know, I'm sure he's living the dream today here in the Pro Bowl.
It's hard to be selected as a fullback, and when you get in as a fullback, I mean, it just confirms you were the best. Back to pass Davis. Blitz coming in from the outside. Gray gets the pass, and he's taken down immediately by number 55, I want to say. Perhaps that was 25. Ryan Davis, 1 for 3 of 6 yards. A uncharacteristic day, but they are handing the ball off. Play action. He's going to launch it. Ooh, just shy of number 87. There were 2 receivers down the field. Possibly one of the times. Sorry.
John Gunter was closer and in his field of vision. You know, he almost got sacked, sandwiched by the D-backs that were pressing him there. Got a little scared there for Davis's health.
The last time Davison was sacked, he broke his leg. So yes, this is a fair concern.
It's currently being held together by some duct tape and some steel rods.
We are using Flex Seal on that bone right now. Vincent with the handoff. Ooh. Hesitated, taken down for a gain of 4. Bronson comes in. At this point, you know, you may think that perhaps Davis should go with a bit more of a deep pass down the field. These receivers are speedy, and the run game does seem to be doing some work, but perhaps not enough, maybe?
Yeah, you know, you have a slew of running backs here. You know, David Bronson and Darius Rogers and Alonzo Vincent. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to see any quarterbacks other than Davis today, but we do have Hudson Lowry and Ryan Walton on the sideline supplying water to the rest of the guys. But a whole lot of talent, a whole lot of different names to see to try to make these plays for the Pacific side.
Very true, and that'll be the end of the first quarter. The Atlantic leads 7-0 against all odds with this Pacific defense. And might I add, getting that water to the players is a very important role.
Oh yeah, everybody sleeps on the water boy, but you know, whenever there is none, that's when you really start to notice it.
You really start to worry about if you're going to be able to make the next play. We will note Davis made a behind-the-head throw, but unfortunately the O-line was holding, so that play will never be remembered.
It's like that Patrick Mahomes against Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl play where he did that jumping, leaping, like, you know, I'm even sure what to call it, Cirque du Soleil throw. And
side-armed, down 30 yards in the face of the receiver. What could have been, but unfortunate. Bronson gets the handoff, and this is a little bit intriguing, if I may, as you were second and long, and yet they decided to run it. Perhaps this is more faith in the running backs in the passing game?
Yeah, I mean, and why not put your confidence in David Bronson, you know, Vancouver's, you know, golden goose.
And as you say that, unfortunately, a massive blitz package put pressure on Davis. Linebacker got the deflection, and for the second time, the Pacific will be punting away.
A lot of action for Zach McQueen today. I mean, I'm sure that he's thankful for that.
He's definitely making sure that San Antonio's ownership is watching with a careful eye, making sure that they understand that this man is giving this Pacific team all the field advantage this game.
I think that's at least 2 punts inside the 20 already today.
And it is a very underrated part of the game. The hidden yardage is something that not a lot of people talk about, but you definitely notice it versus a touchback than when you get an inside the 20 versus 80 yards compared to a perhaps 90 yard. And Matlock, oh my goodness, just, can we talk about that rushing lane for a second? I mean, a semi-truck could have gone through there, Reed.
Insane offensive line, making the lanes there. You have John Duvall from Brooklyn, Brian Condon from Virginia Beach, Alex Walsh, Jonathan Eagle, and Brett Fairbanks rounding out that offensive line. And it's no question why, Croy tries all the time in the world, even to make rushes outside to the left.
I mean, he ran for miles, and in came Matt McDonough to break a leg. My goodness, that was terrifying to watch.
I'm sure he heard Jaws music in his head while he was running.
When you turn up that sideline and you see him chasing like he is. Oh my goodness, Matt McDonough, possibly the scariest, and he has to be subbed out. Wow. I mean, that's possibly at least 80 yards just on those two plays for Matt McDonough.
Looks like Justin Witt has to come in and potentially bear the brunt of those McDonough hits.
Just for one play, thankfully, because Matt McDonough's back in there. I mean, this guy is the defense. I mean, he chased down that without McDonough, I think Kreutzer possibly gets a touchdown on both those plays.
Very true. I mean, there was no one else even in the vicinity of him. And we've seen how many breakaway plays teams can get when the quarterback has daylight.
We can, in fact, look over to the San Antonio team with Weber having a handful, but not many runs of 40-plus yards simply because no linebacker is within a yard's reach of him at the pocket, and he escapes. No one's home. It's insane. Hand off to Brown. Oh, my goodness. And he is just breaking tackles left and right. He threw McDonough off. I mean, perhaps we were too, I would say, aggressive to think that the Pacific would possibly be stopping this Atlantic offense. Would you say that, Reed?
Yeah, I mean, putting a lot of faith in these studs. I mean, it's easy to do, especially given the fact that, I mean, a Pacific team did win the championship this year. But no defender can stop. Here he comes, Nate the Great Gilroy, doing what he does best.
Putting that field goal up, like you said. We are just 2 more touchdowns away from another field goal and equaling your score for Atlantic, 27.
Let's see if the Pacific side will live up to the prediction and the expectations that we both have.
This team, by all accounts, should be able to put some points up. Xavier Boykin, I believe, is their #1 wide receiver. He has been known to make plays. Davis in the backfield. He's got all day. He's going to decide to run it instead. He's going to spin around, get a gain about 3. I don't know, Reed. Would you have scrambled for that? I feel like he had all day. He could have possibly thrown a deep bomb like he normally does.
Yeah, and I mean, first-year quarterback, sometimes the judgment just isn't quite there yet. I mean, he thought he could take on Tyrone Shirley, and he did get a good spin move off of him. When you have weapons like Bradford, Boykin, Ellis, and Holloway, it's hard not to throw to them. At least one of them was going to get some space between them and the defender if he would have just chucked the ball up.
Absolutely. Perhaps that long, deep ball pass that was dropped earlier is just scaring him out of passing it deep, perhaps.
Yeah, not a lot of connections being made from Davis to any of the receivers. We've seen a lot of Bronson. We've seen a lot of Rogers and Vincent. So maybe he's getting a little shaken up in his first Pro Bowl.
This is true. A lot of these rookies will perhaps be a little bit starstruck as Xavier Boykin gets the catch and he heads up. That's the first time we've seen him, and he's immediately subbed down for Ahmed Banks. They said, that's enough production. San Antonio sent the call down. We don't want a contract extension.
Got to send in one of the 2 Sacramento players on this Atlantic team to see if maybe they can do something.
Devon Bronson, 8 rushes for 31 yards, 2 receptions for 10 yards, and both targets. Incredible. Davis back to pass. He's going to launch it beyond the first down line. Incredible. And I think, well, for some reason the clock didn't stop there, but I think this is the part where the Pacific offense starts to click.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen multiple different receivers get targeted. That was Rashawn Holloway from Omaha. There's Xavier Boykin on his 2nd reception in this drive alone. So maybe something was said to them in their headsets, and they're starting to drive down this field kind of easily.
Bronson with the handoff. He's got major yardage. I mean, that's at least got to be 3rd and inches. 3rd and 1 as Alonzo Vincent and Boykin come back in. And I'm going to assume they're going to run up the middle as they did last time. But let's see if this offense can continue their drive. They will, and Vincent has a major hole, and he goes all the way up to the 30. What an incredible run. Darius Rogers and Devon Bronson coming back in.
Kudos on the Tony Romo-style play calling there, Cole. That was great. And then that stop by Tremaine Ball out of Memphis prevented potentially something huge from Alonzo Vincent.
And I'm sure I will once again call a play where I think they'll play something that'll be the complete opposite, and I'll make a fool of myself. So don't worry. We'll even these things out as they go. As Boykin was in for the reception. But, oh, my goodness, he's got receivers open all day. Oh, Davis just not processing the field properly, but that's okay. This is the Pro Bowl.
I believe that was Amari Lawson out of Raleigh there on the stop. And, I mean, it could have been a huge play for the Atlantic defense, especially, you know, already being up by 10, big statement play. But I feel like we're going to be seeing Thomas next see some action here.
And that is correct as they line up for the field goal. He's going to kick it deep. And it's good. 47-yarder, and he had miles to go. I feel like he could have perhaps even done what Fanasteel did in the championship game and kick a 55-yarder, perhaps.
Yeah, not many kickers kicking that deep. I mean, Next did a great job this year. 98% field goal percentage. You know, Mr. Automatic, as you would say. I believe that was one of the highest percentages in the league, especially given that he has 90 points to his name.
He's a scorer, and he's an efficient scorer. As the Atlantic take back over. Kreutzer back to pass. McDonough coming in. Just destroying him. My goodness.
Yet another play to that previously mentioned highlight reel. For Matt McDonough in the Pro Bowl.
Absolutely. And Tremaine Carter said, I don't want a part of that blocking situation. He subbed out immediately. 2nd and 15, Kreutzer. McDonough off the field. There's no pressure of a blitz. And Brown, oh my goodness. The one time we would have thought he would have been able to break an easy tackle. Taken down by Williams. This could also be the fact that Williams is perhaps a very good tackler.
Yeah, Lance Williams from Albuquerque. I mean, I believe he's not the only river monster on this defense for the Pacific team. Very, very big plays made by Williams this season.
Absolutely. And, of course, as we talked some dirt towards Brown, he broke off a 13-yard run. So perhaps we should not. Kreutzer back to pass. I mean, there was a bit of a pause for a deep pass, but he decides to take Matlock over the middle. I believe some of these quarterbacks are treating this almost as if it should be a game that needs to be won. I feel, though, as if it would be a lot more fun, perhaps, from the broadcast view, should they be able to launch it deep, and he does. Number 2 in the stop. What an incredible deflection. I mean, that is a game, well, not game, but that is a touchdown-saving pass. Matt McDonough in coverage for some reason. He's going to launch it. Down to Gibson. Oh, my goodness.
Rakeem Gibson, yet another victim.
Oh, McDonough is playing with the gloves off this game. He knows everyone is fair game. Kreutzer, a design quarterback run. Oh, wow. The jukes. Although Grant was there to clean it up, I mean, McDonough just got juked out of his shoes. An incredible play. punt is off. And is there backspin? There's not. Unfortunate.
Paul Kaloje is definitely not putting up the same performance and, resume for OKC that Zach McQueen has been doing today. That is one thing that has been very apparent when it comes to these teams punting.
Absolutely. And the hidden yardage game, as I said before, is going to be very crucial for this Pro Bowl, as I think there might have been some taunting in the huddle there after he deflected that pass. Davis back to pass 50% of the year. He's got a man deep. He's going to launch it. Oh, my goodness. Number 8, unable to come down with it.
That Davis-Bradford connection could have been there. Right off his fingertips, I think.
DB was in his hip pocket, unable to stop him. Vincent got a major hole. He's going to rush forward. 1st and 10 of the 33. No timeout taken by Pacific. This is a bit odd. Perhaps they're going to launch it deep again.
Yeah, 5 wide receiver set. I think you're right.
Blitz coming. He's got all day. Holloway unable to evade the sack. This should be where they take a timeout. They do not. Well, I suppose we're going to see a Hail Mary here.
It looks like it. Vincent potentially being an extra blocker for Ryan Davis.
Motion man, 2 seconds left on the clock. He's got all the time in the world. He's going to throw it over the middle. An interesting play. Ellis taken down at the 50-yard line. I believe, however, the reason being, if I remember correctly, I think Pacific will receive the kickoff. I could be wrong on that.
I don't recall. Looks like we're both going to be surprised at whatever happens here.
And we were correct. Atlantic will kick off. Pacific will receive the ball. Curious, though, why they didn't take the timeout and try to get some extra points with them receiving the ball. Perhaps it is just a simple matter of people wanting their stats. As Bradford takes the return. Oh, my goodness. Just evades a man up to the 30. 1st and 10.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with what you said about not making mistakes. So far, it's been a mistakeless game. Maybe even though there's not a lot of production out of either of these two teams. Oh my goodness. Sorry to cut myself off there.
That's perfectly fine. Westbrook, I mean, he shoved the offensive lineman into the quarterback, then shoved him off, and then proceeded to sack Davis again. I mean, that's a freak of nature play.
Oh, yeah, that's an Oklahoma City player that is looking to get a big contract extension.
Absolutely. Gunter just hurdling a man like no tomorrow as David Betchel comes in for John Gunter. John Gunter, 2 of 3 targets, 16 yards. Seeming like today's offenses are, play action. Hold that thought. Catch by Ellis. Incredible. Wow. Just as I was about to say, these offenses were possibly going to stall out. Pull out the playbook.
Yeah, but no mistakes for either offense. No interceptions, no fumbles. These guys are although it's not a lot of scores, it's a very clean game of football.
Very true. This is what you would expect from some of the top-end talents, though many may counter, saying that the top defensive talent should be able to get turnovers. You also have to remember this is the top talent of the offenses, so they're less likely to make these costly turnovers. Ryan Davis back to pass. He's got all day. He decides to run it. One man to beat. Oh, my goodness. He's going. Number 59, Chase. Number 6 gets the tackle. I mean, lots of chaos going down there. And after that run, we will see Hudson Lowry come in.
Love to see the backup quarterbacks coming in for both sides. Hudson Lowry out of Omaha. Potentially, you'd love to see him throw to Holloway on this play, that quarterback-receiver connection.
And he throws to Vincent instead for an easy completion. And
Still
Davis said enough.
There, though, that Omaha connection there. Alonzo Vincent being a great asset for Omaha this season.
Oh, my goodness, and he shows more potential there. I think that might have been a first down. No, just short, 3rd and inches. Shirley with the tackle.
We may see more field goals than anticipated out of the Pacific if there's another stop here.
Bronson, did he get it? Flag, face mask, automatic first down. They're going to go for a 1st and goal. Unfortunate. I believe that was Shirley with the face mask.
Yes, indeed. He had the tackle, but had to use the means that are not allowed to get it.
Absolutely. Davis, play action. He's going to launch it. Ellis, is he going to get it? Oh, my goodness. Oh, no. Second and
Tyrone
goal.
Shirley again with the stop.
Shirley making up. He's making up for it. He said, they may have gotten first and goal, but you're not scoring 6 on me. Ryan Davis motioned the tight end out to the left. This could be a handoff. It is up the middle. Bronson, touchdown. Textbook red zone offense.
And unless we have that predicted missed extra point here, it's looking to be a tie game.
Kick is up, and the kick is good.
Started to fade off to the left there. Scared
It
us a little
absolutely was. All of a sudden, we were worried our Pacific prediction was going to be wrong. And the kick is off and into the end zone. We'll catch up the one. Braxton returning it. Good missed tackle. Braxton evading at the 25. 5 extra yards instead of kneeling it. Good play there. Number 8 under center. Brown in the backfield. Kretzer back to pass. Delayed DB blitz. And obviously, I want to say that is McTrick, if that is correct.
I'd probably pronounce it McKittrick, but regardless,
I'm a bit dyslexic.
Yeah, we'll just call him David, you know.
There
David
we go.
At the reception.
Brown with the first down. And this is what I must say. Heralding back to, I want to say it was Wichita, perhaps it was OKC. Kreutzer back to pass, major blitz coming. He's going to rush out to the left. We'll get back to that thought process later. Rush of about 9, 2nd and 1. I believe OKC was the one that traded their aging running back. And OKC went from a star talented running back, Kreutzer back to pass, to a man who just simply got the yards, got the plays. And I think that's what the Atlantic team has on their offense. They have running backs who they'll get big plays, but they make the plays necessary. They'll get you that 3, they'll get you that 4 when you need it. After that long-winded rant, we're back to Brown evading a man. Rushing up for about a gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Kenny Matlock and Rakeem Gibson coming back in.
Sorry, yeah, I was looking into the trade you mentioned. Yes, it was Oklahoma City trading away David Sturgill and a 2nd-round pick for Salt Lake City's rookie DeMarquez Clark, who has the only punt return touchdown this season.
And that is a stat that earns you a contract extension irregardless.
Oh, yeah.
And I will mention, I actually was the commentator for that OKC game, and I did say that I was worried about that trade. And during that trade, he blew my socks off. He did what he needed to do, and he won that team the game. Oh, my goodness. And hopefully Kreitzer's arm is okay. He was going to launch it deep, and he pulled back at the last second. Let's hope he didn't get injured. Those throws can be a bit nasty.
Great.
Oh! Oh!
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. No way.
Something we couldn't have predicted. Nate Gilroy getting circled by the Pacific team and getting shamed for missing his field goal.
They know that won't happen often. Davis back to pass. He's got all day. He's going to launch out to the right. Unfortunate. Number 4 unable to come down with it. I mean, when you face off against kickers as good as these and they miss, I mean, you almost have to get your lick in. I mean, you know there's a chance that will never happen again. Bronson with the run. Out to the left, 3rd and 7. And this could be the Cole curse of one quarterback throwing for less than 50%. As the Pacific has Davis less than 50% at the moment. Bronson just running for miles on end. And he got them a first down. Oh, wow.
Jameer McDonald just dragging him to the ground, but it was too late.
That is what we call effort. Effort, effort, effort. Davis back to back. He is surveying for days. Linebacker blitz coming in. Can he get it? No. Oh. Taken down by Gordon. That'll be 2nd and 20. I mean, my goodness. Is there much else to say besides the linebacker blitz just is unstoppable from the Atlantic side?
Yeah, and I think that's why they're going to be resorting to the run game here again in the 3rd quarter. Unfortunate to see, especially with a stud like Ryan Davis hurling the ball with all those receivers, but These linebackers are, like you said, very scary.
Absolutely. Going deep. Oh, dropped. Interception by number 24.
Yeah, Devontae Carden had his hands on it. It was either Carden. Well, the thing is, in the Pro Bowl, they don't change their numbers from what they were, so there's multiple 24s. So that was either Devontae Carden, James Asher, or Trey Edwards. Who's to say, really? Who's to say?
Who's to say? And this is the greatest punt of all time. Wow. McQueen is fighting for the biggest bag for a punter in history. My goodness, in the end zone. Kurtzer back to pass, almost stepping out. Launching it, Presley gets it. And this is where you start to wonder, maybe Pacific should have sent McDonough on a blitz.
Yeah, that would have been the play to call there, but I imagine they wanted him back to chase down the quarterback if he got out of the pocket, like he's done already 2 or 3 times today.
Very true. Matlock unable to get there. Oh my goodness. McDonough not waiting for the body to hit the floor. Already at the line. My goodness.
McIntyre out of Sacramento, he was tackling him, and McDonough, he seems to be on a spy of some sort every time they run a play. Look.
Exactly. You were correct right there. And I know what you were pointing to as McDonough came around the edge, but he got picked up last second.
He just kind of drops back, sees where the play is going, and then just pushes in like a cheetah or something. He's a fast linebacker. I wonder what his 40 time is.
Well, what's incredible... Oh, Haywood almost had a chance to make a punt return touchdown. What's incredible is he's actually not as fast in his 40 time as his fellow linebackers, yet he appears faster on the field. That's sort of that... It's that weird phenomenon.
Must be the position. Is he an outside linebacker?
I believe he is an outside linebacker, yes. I want to say he should be. He has been transferred in between, though, to middle linebacker at some points, or inside linebacker. They run a 3-4. Bronson running out to the left all day. Easy first down.
Yeah, reason I say that, outside linebackers, they are edge rushers, and, they're going to be running forward more than they are backwards. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Davis evades a sack. Oh, my goodness. Just thrown right into the arms of Lisenby. Oh, my goodness. You hate to see it for the quarterback mid-air just getting planted, but you love to see it if you're the defense.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure J.R. Lisenby is feeling like he's on top of the world right now after that sack.
Oh, my goodness. And again, sorry to cut you off, but Westbrook... Reed, have we seen anything like this, man?
No, nothing like it, and back-to-back sacks from Oklahoma City players. They are representing Oklahoma City well here today in the Pro Bowl.
And correct me if I'm wrong, he is a defensive lineman, or is he a linebacker lining up in the defensive line?
Oh, Westbrook is a defensive lineman. Yes, he is.
I mean, he has to be the most dominant defensive lineman of the NAG. And I do want to say, I believe Westbrook was injured during the season, which is why OKC was unable to mount a comeback during the late season.
I believe that is true. Yeah, the injury bug got to a few teams, and it stopped a few of them from making their playoff runs. So you always hate to see it in whatever football league you're watching. You never want to see an injury bug plague a team, especially if it's a significant player such as Westbrook.
Absolutely. And I believe during their Wichita rivalry, as that is now the end of the third quarter, we are heading into the fourth quarter. It has been nothing but 10-10. Though it may seem like a boring game to the scoreboard, I can tell you it is anything but. Back to what I would...
Back and forth football here today. Yeah, sorry for the cutoff.
No, you're fine.
I'm just concurring with your statement there. Yeah, this game is pretty electric despite the low score.
It is the best facing off. As Krutzer back to pass, he's got a man down deep. It's intercepted by Jordan. Incredible play. Wow. Number
Sam
2.
Jordan. Representing Columbus, giving Pacific a new chance at victory here.
Xavier Boykin not seen much. I believe this is his 3rd reception. And again, San Antonio making that call, pulling him out. Ahmed Banks coming in for Boykin. Bronson out to the left. He spades, but he's taking on the line of scrimmage. And I would like to course correct my statement on the Matt McDonough position. He is actually a middle linebacker.
Wow. So even more impressive how fast he looks out there, being a guy that is, strafing at times, then running forward. He must have a good cone drill. That's what it is.
It has to be.
That's the drill I'm looking for.
And unfortunately, I was unable to catch the player's name, but someone on the Pacific side made a boneheaded move, and they wound up pinning the team backwards. So they will have to punt it. And just outside the 20, McQueen unable to stay perfect for the day. San Antonio possibly rejoicing in the booth, watching from above in their coach suite, or owner's suite as it would be. Matlock gets the handoff. He's got all sorts of room, hurdles a man, taken down by number 7, but not before he gets 15 yards. I mean, this has to be the scariest running back duo in the league. I mean, Brown is unstoppable, and Matlock, he's just breaking out for easy gains.
Yeah, and let's not forget Rashawn Davidson. I mean, this trio is... Whoa!
Oh, my goodness!
The diving interception from Sam Jordan catching us off guard there.
I want to point out...
2 interceptions in a row.
I want to point out he outmuscled Matt freaking McDonough for that interception. We need to get Jordan on a strength test. He needs to start doing some bench presses. That is incredible.
He just wanted it more. That's what I chalked it up to.
McDonough wants the sacks. He wants to, as you said, sorry to cut you off, but Matt McDonough wants the sacks, and he'll give up interceptions all day, it seems.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems like that, Sam Jordan must have seen the sheet of analysts and experts that predicted that Pacific would win today, and he's making sure that they're not disappointed.
Especially being down, I believe it was 10-3 at one point. So
yeah,
definitely busting their tail to make sure they don't give up any more points. As Davis gonna take a QB run, and he's got all sorts of green, incredible blocking. That could be a first down, 1st and 10. And he waves off the backup saying, no, I'm staying in, and I'm gonna get this touchdown.
Tremaine Ball on the stop. That could have been a 25+ yard touchdown run for Davis.
Absolutely, and this could be an offsides penalty as Gunter gets about 8 yards. Offsides, 1st and goal at the Atlantis 9 or 2nd and goal. They're going to go 2nd and goal at the 6-yard line. And they will course correct to 2nd and 2, as it should be. John Gunter, I mean, look at the stats right there. 4 for 41. I mean, besides the one drop, he's incredible. Davis out to Boykin. Oh, Boykin taken down. Number 6, possibly receiving.
Yeah, shout out to Tremaine Ball for torpedoing himself through the air to stop that touchdown.
Safety is out the window here. Bronson, easy rushing touchdown. And in back comes Boykin. Banks subbing out. I feel like the defender may get a major bag from the San Antonio ownership group, preventing Boykin from getting a touchdown today. You have to imagine all the owners are excited their players are here, but when they see their players make great moves, they wince a little bit as they know the agents are going to come back tapping on the contract saying, listen here, bucko, he went to the Pro Bowl and he put up a touchdown against the best of the best. Sign him.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure Columbus is just sweating right now, waiting for Sam Jordan's agent to call.
I mean...
2 interceptions in the Pro Bowl.
He's picking off the best quarterback, Krutzer, right now. That's more impressive than picking off the best of the best. He's picking off the statistical best as Krutzer going deep again. Whoa! Braxton in double coverage, mosses a DB, and comes down with it. My goodness.
Dare I say triple? That looked like DeAndre Hopkins on that, legendary Arizona play.
Very true. Matlock out to the left. He's got all sorts of room. Ooh, number 25. Great wrap tackle. I mean...
That's Marquis Casey, former interception leader, I believe.
How many times have we had to state that these tackles are game or touchdown saving tackles? I mean, this is incredible.
Yeah, these guys are all fast. Even the tight ends, even the fullbacks got some jets on them.
This is Mike McDaniel offense from the Dolphins right now on both ends.
Unfortunately, actually, fortunately, no 50-point blowout from
thank goodness.
these two teams.
Oh my! Reed, I apologize, but I mean, the Atlantic team is just making some of the most incredible passing throws I've ever seen. I mean,
hey, your reaction is my reaction. Barrett Galbraith, impressive.
Krutzer might actually get a contract extension today after the game. Touchdown, Matlock Krutzer. Atlantic ties it back up. I mean, wow. With 5 minutes to go, they drive down the field effortlessly, by the way. 2 interceptions, but he comes back and he leads his team.
And redemption from Krutzer and redemption from Gilroy. Gilroy making sure he doesn't miss the extra point there, potentially costing him the game.
This could be prophesized, however. He could miss the extra point at some point.
That is true.
Bradford with the return, heading back in. Oh my goodness, number 6. Stopping Boykin, and he's stopping number 8. What a man. Here we go. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end, empty back set for Davis. Blitz coming from the linebackers. Oh, he launches it off just in time to Ellis above the first down line. That had to be a 23-yard pass. I mean, how far back did he go?
I believe that was a jumping pass, too. I think he was midair when he threw the ball.
Mid-air, off-platform. This is why him and Krutzer are the starting quarterbacks. Hands off to Gray. Gray's got a lane, and he's going to push forward. My goodness. 2nd and 3. And that's what you want from your fullbacks. You want 5+ yard gains.
Yeah, Gray's one of the few ones that can do that. I mean, he's been doing it all year for Austin. He's a great rusher, which you don't see a lot.
Oh, Gordon's back up. And he's running down the sidelines, and he's taken down. I apologize once again for interrupting, but Davis threw that right to Gordon.
Adrian Gordon, these Orlando players are now showing up late in the game to make these game-changing plays. And I'm surprised he didn't go down. I know that you made note of it, that he was still on his feet.
I am shocked that he must have had some, maybe the arm was under him and he fell on it. I mean, my goodness, back to pass, Krutzer. Major blitz coming in, and he's taken down by number 95. That is Grant. Back at the 30, saving the Pacific, maybe a touchdown-saving drive.
Now, first we were talking about mistakeless football in the first half, and here we are in the second half with these exciting mistakes.
Going deep for the touchdown. Oh! Wow.
Marshall Presley.
244 yards.
Stats.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure half of those are Marshall Presley's huge plays.
It has to be. PAT is good. Pacific, now in the hot seat, has to drive down the field. You had him. You had him in 3rd and 17. And it's unfortunate. You just have a player like Presley and Krutzer, and you just can't stop it. You can't scheme that. Bradford, take it down to the 20. I mean, would there have been anything you would have done, Reed?
No, that's the thing. I'm expecting that the rest of this game, given that it's less than 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, we're going to see a lot of things that you just cannot scheme for,
Exactly. And I'll agree to that as Bronson rushes up for 6. Pacific, understanding they have time, trying to get the rush game, get those gained yards. They did throw an interception, possibly trying to help Davis get back into the motion. Hands it off to Bronson again. Major hole. All the way up to the 37, as I don't know how to read numbers. That'll be 1st and 10, 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Pacific could take the clock, driving all the way down, possibly go for 2. Go! Back to pass, 4-man rush. He's going to dump it off to Boykin. Boykin, unfortunate. And this is something that I think perhaps the OC for the Pacific team doesn't really understand. Boykin is not much of a shifty player. He's more of like a Presley. Get down the field and catch that ball. Oh my goodness. And Reed, we may see it packed up here soon. Pacific 3rd and 9.
Yeah, I'm hoping honestly for an overtime situation, but you know, that's that might just be a wishful thinking.
That
We'll see
ship
what
may
happens here on
have
3rd and
already
9.
sailed. Exactly. We'll have to see, but it may have sailed already. Davis motion the man out, empty backfield. This is for the drive to continue. Davis back to pass. I have no words. I have no words for what just occurred.
I chalk it up again to rookie jitters.
Has to be. And instead of punting with 3 timeouts, they're going to... I get it. They've been scored on at will. Davis back to pass. Blitz coming. He's going to launch down deep. Oh! Boykin had the ball swatted out of his hands. Unfortunate. And now, 3 timeouts remaining. You got to hope McDonough maybe comes in for Pacific. Back to pass. He has all day. What an incredible throw. And a face mask. I mean, Kreutzer. Listen. The Pro Bowl is just showing Kreutzer is limited by his team. I will go that far. I will say Kreutzer is limited. I have not seen this all season from him. He has weapons, but we're watching him fit some of the tightest throws in the tightest windows.
There's only one receiver from his team that's on this Pro Bowl team. Everybody else, there's only 2 other guys from the Wranglers on this roster. An offensive lineman and a backup linebacker here. I think you might be right.
This could be the part where a team with a quarterback need, instead of going to the draft, they may see if Wichita will give up Kreutzer, but Kreutzer may just have to give the bag. I mean, this play is just phenomenal, as Pacific does get the stop, but 4th and 4, they're probably going to kick a field goal, run down the clock, and this game is, unless there's an onside kick recovered or the field goal is missed, I dare say this could be the end of the game.
Gilroy's just making sure that I get my Atlantic score prediction correct. Running down the clock just to kick it through, make it 27. We'll see what kind of crazy stuff would have to happen for the Pacific team to get anywhere close to their prediction.
Very close, and he gets it in. And unless Ryan Davis bombs this deep for an automatic touchdown and an onside recovery, this could be the game. But it is the Pro Bowl. We have not seen much yet. The best takeaway I must take from this game, though, is Kreutzer is possibly the quarterback of the NAGA league.
I would have to agree. He might be the face of the league going forward. He is our, Tom Brady. He's our Joe Burrow. He's our Patrick Mahomes. He's our guy.
And let's also give credit to Davis. Davis has made some questionable throws down the run, but to be fair, again, rookie jitters, young guy jitters, it's just sometimes it happens, and he will eventually blossom into a talent that is unstoppable, just as Kreutzer has been today. Davis back to pass. He's going to launch it out. Ellis is going to catch it out of bounds, or rushing out of bounds, sorry. That'll stop the clock. I suppose this is more of a fact of them trying to get their stats in than get the win. What would you say, Reed?
Yeah, and it's something that you don't want to just throw in the towel. You don't want to just give up the fight, especially since the crowd's there to see plays happen. But I'd chalk up this Atlantic victory to motivation inspired from the fact that an Atlantic team did not win the championship.
Very true.
These guys are stepping up for their conference. They had to make this happen.
And unfortunate, the final play is just a slants over the middle, essentially. That's kind of what it was, really. But let's look on the bright side. An incredible Pro Bowl.
I agree. It was close the whole time. Just that 4th quarter comeback. It was looking, I'm sure you can agree with this. After those 2 interceptions from Sam Jordan for the Pacific team, it was looking pretty, abysmal for the Atlantic squad. I was thinking it was going to be 24-10 to end this game, Pacific team. But you see his name. There he is, Adrian Gordon, coming through for the Atlantic squad, and obviously got to give it to the quarterback. Despite the 2 interceptions, throwing some incredible passes to give the Atlantic squad the win.
And let's go ahead and head back real quick to the quarterback window. I mean, this is Ryan Davis. Yards aren't there, right? But what we saw from him was incredible potential. And you look over at David Kreutzer, and that's the man. I mean, if there was any other way to showcase it, today was the day. 3 touchdowns. Going into the fourth quarter, 1 touchdown to 2 interceptions, right? And rattling off 2 continuous touchdowns. I mean, fitting the ball into windows I would have never dreamed of seeing. Triple coverage, literally, between 2 arms, a leg, and another defender's arm to fit it to the tight end. That's incredible. That's just...
It was unbelievable. And, of course, shout out, as you mentioned, the receivers, Barrett Galbraith, the tight end, and David McKittrick, and Marshall Presley, and Malcolm Braxton. Got a whole lot of guys helping to make those plays, and I'm sure that if Wichita isn't reached out to by any other team for the quarterback, then they're going to be reaching out to other teams for their receivers.
Exactly.
Or at least that's what they're going to be targeting in the draft to help support this quarterback, maybe get him a ring or 2.
It's an incredible talent. You may see some teams possibly... I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if we see the Raleigh team, the possibly... Who else could it be? I would want to say maybe perhaps Memphis, right? I mean, a lot of teams could reach out to Wichita and say, hey, that was an incredible performance. I will give you 2 first-round picks. Let's have them.
Yeah, another team I'd have to say would be, we saw a couple of their players, primarily running backs, Louisville. Would not be surprised to see Louisville reach out, see Mr. Kreutzer sport the purple next season.
Very true. That or Sacramento, the 2 teams with the highest draft picks this year. Before we continue on that conversation, let's go ahead and talk about the Pacific MVPs. Bronson, running back, 23 rushes, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he was their offense in the red zone. And, I mean, can we have a defensive game without Jordan here today? 2 interceptions on possibly the greatest quarterback in the league. 5 tackles, 3 pass deflections. I mean, incredible.
Yeah, he was everywhere in the backfield, just as Matt McDonough was everywhere else. You see 7 tackles and a sack, a tackle for loss, 2 defensive pass deflections, and you got a couple other guys such as Christian Grant, Marquis Casey, Chantrell Haywood. A lot of studs there. I mean, just saying all their names in the same breath is, it's future Hall of Famers, you know what I mean? These guys are absolute studs. And the other side, I was talking about all game that linebacker core, and right there is Adrian Gordon at the top of that list. Of course, you had some help from the backfield with Tremaine Ball, and Amari Lawson, but Tyrone Shirley, there he is as well. Him and Gordon totaling 7 tackles for loss. And as many times as Pacific side ran the ball, I think that made a big difference in today's game.
Absolutely. And we cannot forget about Westbrook, the defensive lineman. 3 tackles, 2 sacks. More sacks, I believe, than the rest of the defense. That is something that OKC was very dearly missing once he went down.
Yes, and he's the only defensive lineman that is highlighted in the team leaders category. So
yes, very true. Very true. I mean, it's when you have people like Matt McDonough and you've got people like Gordon like leading their teams in the linebacker core, it's hard to see some defensive linemen. But Westbrook, he is the defensive lineman. He is the Aaron Donald of that team. So let's go ahead.
Oh yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him get the sack record, not sack record, but be the sack leader next year. Yeah, I was gonna say sack record might be a little unobtainable, but he might be the sack leader ahead of McDonough next year, given he has a healthy season.
Exactly. 81 plays to 65. We can kind of see the breakdown. I mean, 397 yards, 220 of that, 222 being passing. Taking 4 sacks, but the fact that you have Kreutzer in the backfield, I mean, that's... Quarterbacks touch the ball every play. They make a difference for the game. It's incredible. And before
I'm looking forward to seeing the rushing breakdown for both of these teams. The amount of running backs that we got to see. Obviously, you see Kenny Matlock alongside... let me see. I mean, you have Rashawn Davidson. You see Kreutzer running for a couple times there. Yeah, Cameron Brown and Chris Murray, the fullback, taking a rush for -1 yards. But, I mean, each running back and even the quarterback getting a pretty significant amount of yardage. And there you go on that side. Bronson taking majority of the carries, but, you know, Alonzo Vincent stepping in and Jason Gray. Unfortunately, Darius Rogers didn't really get a handoff, him being kind of the heart and soul of Iowa this season, you know, if we're discounting tight end John Gunter.
Very true. I mean, yeah, it's so many talented players we were unfortunately able to see today. But, I mean, that just goes to speak, like, how talented these two Pro Bowl teams are. To not be able to even scratch some or most of the surface is just incredible.
And I'm glad I got to see most of them play. You know, it was a pleasure to see the backup quarterbacks coming in. I think we saw Barry and Witt on the passing side of things for the Atlantic. I know it doesn't really credit them. Maybe they didn't get any significant stats. There's Hudson Lowry, of course, for the Pacific side out of Omaha. I believe we even saw Ryan Walton come in once from Albuquerque for the Pacific side. So it was nice seeing all that talent, regardless of what all they did. But what a display today!
Absolutely, and of course on the Atlantic side, I mean, look at this talent. I mean, everyone has a catch basically. Everyone's above 20 yards, besides 2 wide receivers who basically only had 2 receptions. Even Galbraith is 1 for 14, and he didn't really do too much.
Yeah, that was that throw into the triple coverage, threading the needle, and I mean,
exactly.
So even the guys with 1 catch, I mean, that it was a significant catch. Or guys that had less rushes, they were significant. So it was such a great game today.
It's fantastic, and of course the sack leader Westbrook tied for the total, or basically half the amount, as Adrian Gordon and J.R. Lisenby. Interceptions, obviously Adrian Gordon. You can go ahead and apologies for cutting you off.
Lisenby getting that mid-air sack on Ryan Davis.
The shoulder driving, that might have been what put him into panic mode to start driving the ball down the field. That sack did not feel good, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably re-aggravated the leg and probably gave him a couple cracked ribs along the way.
Absolutely. Returns here. We have 1 punt return for 9 yards by Lisenby, and we have 4 kick returns from Malcolm Braxton for 82 yards. Of course, we got to talk about the special teams. I mean, the field goal, the rare miss by Nate Gilroy, but he's perfect on the extra points.
Yeah, and, you know, given that Gilroy's, you know, he's 30, he's one of those guys that, as alongside Kaloje, yeah, there he is he's 36. I mean, although this is a seasoned special teams unit, I mean, they showed out, and, you know, maybe this was their farewell bout. You know, unfortunate to see a rare miss from Gilroy and a potential farewell bout, but, you know, shout out to these two significant players on their teams. You know, representing the Atlantic side very well.
Absolutely. And let's go ahead and move on over to the Pacific side. Obviously, we saw the quarterbacks and the running backs, the wide receivers, of course, here. I mean, it's a little bit unfortunate. There was 1 drop today from Xavier Boykin, but besides that, I mean, everything else was just deflected passes, DBs, linebackers. And it's tough to play against the best of the best.
Yeah, it was a real shame. You see Jaquante Bradford, I don't know how many targets he had. If you scroll back down, he gets like 1 or 2, 3 targets, and he did not get to catch a single one of them. I believe he was pretty evenly matched up with Amari Lawson. So, you know, part of the no-fly zone, really making sure Jaquante Bradford did not do anything significant, knowing he'd probably be targeted at least 3 times by Ryan Davis, so.
Exactly. And we head on over to the defensive side. A little bit of a letdown from the Pacific side, but to be fair, the offense didn't exactly put the defense in a lot of good positions at some points. That is also a credit to the Atlantic defense, however. A lot of tackles. Not as many as the Atlantic side, though. Definitely a handful. Sacks,
Very
Christian
even
Grant.
distribution, I would say.
Oh, absolutely. That's possibly the smoothest distribution I've seen all year long.
Yeah, if we were to graph these out, it'd be a pretty nice smooth slope, I believe.
It would definitely be a nice bell curve. The interception side, Sam Jordan, the man of the hour. TFL's Lance Williams, Gabriel White, and obviously the rest of the one apiece over here. No touchdowns, deflected passes, Sam Jordan. He was all over in the backfield, really trying to help out the Pacific defense. No forced fumbles, no recoveries. 1 punt return by Seantrell Haywood for 12 yards. 6 kick returns for Jaquante Bradford. Didn't have much in the receiving action, but he did have it in the kick return for 126 yards. Hidden yardage game was crucial, but Atlantic defense just came through. Thomas Necht. Is it next or necked? How would you pronounce that?
I'd say Necht. Necht is how I'm pronouncing it.
Gotcha. Necked. 1 field goal made and attempted. 2 extra points, 100%. And, of course, Zachary McQueen, or Zach McQueen, 6 punts, 2 of them inside the 20, 2 touchbacks, so a bit offsetting. This is the normal Zach McQueen stat line. He'll pin the team back, and then he'll let them walk right up to the 20-yard line, the very next punt.
Yeah, I believe one of those that wasn't a touchback or a punt inside the 20 was the one that was right there at the 21. And then the other one was actually fielded and returned. I think they were pinned back pretty deep for that punt, so couldn't really make it inside the 20 from where they were.
Very, very true. And for the most part, I believe that is everything else. This was an incredible Pro Bowl. We saw plays we never thought we'd see. We saw players pop more than we thought they have popped in the regular season. Matt McDonough and Krutzer just made more of a reason for you to vote for MVP on them. Krutzer was all over the place, and Matt McDonough, possibly the scariest defensive lineman just defensive player, not lineman, defensive player I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think anytime I saw him running towards a player who had the ball, I saw a video game boss health bar pop up at the top of the screen.
I definitely heard Jaws music and a Super Boss music when he started chasing down Krutzer from not only when he was in the backfield of the defense, but he ran around the offensive line, chased him, running around the right tackle from the left tackle, the right tackle to the left tackle, followed him up and caught him within 10 yards. That scariest moment.
Very impressive and very scary. You're glad that you're in the booth and not on the field when you see that kind of thing happen.
I'd have to retire if I saw that, Reed. I'm not gonna lie. Well,
I'd have to agree.
I believe that is all of that. Is that correct, Reed, or do you have any other inputs about this Pro Bowl?
Only thing I want to say is, shout out to all these players. Shout out to the North American Gridiron Association. I'm looking very much forward to Season 3 being played on Axis 2024. It's going to be nice, refreshing, new. I can't wait to see all the new owners. And I am very interested to see what happens in the upcoming offseason and more exciting football that is guaranteed to come.
I am very excited about that as well. And before we sign off, I'd also like to give an appreciation to all of the NAGA owners, whether they are here now or whether they have left. At any point when you picked up a team, we appreciate you. You have made this season what it is. You have created the storylines that have been unfolding across the season. And most importantly, we would like to thank Pasta, the NAGA commissioner. He has done an amazing job at setting this all up and allowing us to be in this position that we are. Well, Mr. Reed, I think that is all of it. I am Cole, and this is Mr. Reed Option. From myself, I say farewell, and I shall allow Mr. Reed to say his farewells as well.
Yes, we will see you all next time Looking forward to it. Have a great day, you all.
See y'all next time.